My brothers and sisters, hear me today. The world may try to rewrite history, distort identity, and cause confusion, but the truth is unshakable. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You were formed with divine intention, shaped by the hands of the Creator, and placed on this earth with a purpose that no force in hell can erase. From the beginning of time, the earth was filled with the richness of creation. Lands flourished, rivers flowed, and the first people walked in power, dominion, and authority. They were blessed with strength, with wisdom, and with a connection to the divine that could not be broken. The origin of black people is not a mystery, it is a testament to divine brilliance. The richness of the soil reflects the richness of the skin. The strength of the mountains mirrors the resilience in the soul. The depth of the oceans speaks to the depth of wisdom that has been passed down through generations. You are not a mistake, you are not forgotten, you are not less than, you are chosen. Through trials and tribulations, through oppression and struggle, the world has tried to bury the truth, but what the world seeks to silence, the Most High has already spoken. You are a royal priesthood, a mighty nation, a people set apart to walk in power. The chains of the past cannot define the future. The lies of the enemy cannot hold back the purpose within you. Stand tall, walk boldly, and embrace the truth of who you are. Your heritage is strength, your lineage is resilience, and your destiny is unshakable. Rise up, step into your calling. Let the world see the light that is within you. You were created for more, destined for greatness, and called to rule and reign. From the very beginning, before the foundations of the earth were laid, a divine plan was set into motion. Nothing was created by accident, nothing came into being without purpose, and nothing exists outside of the will of the Almighty. Every mountain was shaped with intention, every river was carved with precision, and every nation was formed with a reason. Among the great works of creation, a people were fashioned with excellence, molded with strength, and designed to reflect the depth, the beauty, and the power of divine craftsmanship. They were not an afterthought. They were not a mistake, but a deliberate manifestation of the Most High's glory on the earth. In the vastness of creation, where the sun rises and sets in perfect rhythm, where the stars are set in the heavens like a mighty declaration of divine majesty, a people were brought forth with a unique calling. The richness of the soil was reflected in the richness of their skin. The strength of the mountains was mirrored in the resilience of their spirit, and the vastness of the oceans spoke to the depth of their wisdom. They were formed not just to exist, but to reign, to flourish, to carry a legacy that would endure for generations. Every feature, every characteristic, every trait was intentionally given, not as something to be ashamed of, but as something to be embraced, something that testifies to the brilliance of their creation. The breath of life was placed within them, the divine essence flowing through their being, giving them not only the ability to live, but the authority to govern. Dominion was not granted to the weak. Power was not placed in the hands of the fearful, but strength was given to those who were designed to stand, to build, to lead. From the earliest days, they were positioned to cultivate, to bring forth fruit, to multiply in abundance. The land was given to them to nurture, the resources of the earth were placed within their reach, and they were assigned the role of stewards over creation. There was no question of their worth, no doubt about their significance, because they were created with the same power, the same care, and the same intention that shaped the heavens and the earth. Yet throughout history, there has been an attempt to strip them of their identity, to redefine their purpose, to disconnect them from the truth of who they are. The enemy of truth has worked tirelessly to distort, to deceive, to plant seeds of confusion. Lies have been spoken over them, chains have been placed upon them, but what was established by the Most High cannot be undone by the schemes of man. No matter how many lies are spoken, truth remains. No matter how many chains are forged, freedom is still within reach. No force on earth has the power to erase what has been eternally written, and the divine fingerprint upon them cannot be removed. They are a people of strength, a people of wisdom, a people of endurance. Through every trial, through every oppression, through every dark season, they have not been destroyed. They have been pressed but not crushed, struck down but not defeated. There is something within them that cannot be extinguished, a fire that continues to burn, a light that refuses to be dimmed, a light that refuses to be dimmed. This is not by their own might, but by the power that was placed within them from the very beginning. It is the evidence of their divine origin, the proof that they were created for more, that they were set apart for greatness. The world may try to measure worth by temporary standards, by riches, by status, by power in the eyes of men. But the true measure of worth is not found in what the world values. It is found in the unchanging decree of the Almighty. If the Creator of the universe deemed them worthy, if He formed them with purpose, then no opinion, no system, no opposition can take that away. The truth remains that they were created with excellence, with significance, and with a destiny that cannot be stolen. From the ancient lands, from the places where civilization was first built, from the regions where wisdom, art, and knowledge flourished, their roots run deep. Their ancestors were not merely survivors, but builders, visionaries, warriors, and kings. They carried wisdom that guided nations, strength that endured the harshest conditions, and creativity that shaped the world. They were never meant to be defined by suffering, but by their ability to rise, to overcome, and to thrive despite every challenge placed before them. To understand their purpose, they must first reject the falsehoods that have been spoken over them. They must turn away from the lies that say they are less than, that they are forgotten, that they have no place in the grand design of creation. They must silence the voices that seek to keep them in bondage, whether those voices come from the world around them or from the fears within. The truth has already been declared, and that truth says they are chosen, they are mighty, they are destined for more. Purpose is not something that needs to be found, because it was never lost. It has always been within them, written into their very existence. The enemy may try to distract them, to make them believe they have no direction, but the path was already set before them long ago. It is a path of greatness, a path of restoration, a path of victory. It is the realization that they are more than what history has said about them, more than what society has labeled them, more than what circumstances have tried to dictate. Every challenge they have faced, every hardship they have endured, has only served to prove their resilience. If they were not powerful, the world would not try so hard to keep them down. If they were not destined for something greater, the forces of darkness would not work so hard to keep them in chains. But chains can be broken. The time of oppression does not last forever. The truth always rises, and those who were once told they had no future will stand and take their rightful place. There is no room for doubt, no place for fear. Now is the time to step fully into the calling that has been placed upon them. Now is the time to walk in confidence, knowing that they were formed by the hands of the Almighty, set apart to be a people of honor, a people of influence, a people of divine strength. No more looking to the world for validation, no more seeking approval from systems that were never meant to define them. Their worth has already been established, and their identity is unshakable. Every step they take in truth is a step toward destiny. Every lie they reject is a victory against deception. Every time they choose to believe in the greatness that is within them, they step further into the fullness of their purpose. They were created with intention, designed with excellence, and called to walk in power. Nothing can change that. Nothing can take that away. It is time to rise, to awaken to the truth, and to walk boldly in the purpose that has been theirs from the very beginning. The richness of a people is not measured by material wealth alone, nor is it defined by the fleeting standards of the world. True richness is embedded in the depth of history, in the strength of endurance, in the wisdom passed down from generation to generation. It is not something that can be bought or taken away. It is ingrained in identity, woven into the very fabric of existence. From the beginning of time, there has been a people whose richness is undeniable, whose resilience is unshakable, and whose legacy cannot be erased. They have walked through fire and come out refined, faced storms that should have destroyed them, yet they stand tall, unbowed, unbroken, and full of power. The richness of their existence is seen in their deep connection to the land, in their ability to cultivate, to build, to innovate. Their hands have tilled the soil and brought forth abundance. Their minds have conceived ideas that have shaped civilizations, and their spirits have carried a strength that defies every hardship thrown their way. They have been creators, visionaries, builders of empires, and guardians of wisdom. Their contributions cannot be measured by the standards of men because they have been an integral part of the foundation upon which society stands. From the richness of their traditions to the vibrancy of their culture, their impact is undeniable. Yet, despite this richness, they have been tested beyond measure. They have been pushed to the edges of history, told they were less than, forced to fight for what was always rightfully theirs. They have seen attempts to strip them of their dignity, to take from them what was divinely given, to silence their voices and erase their legacy. But what was placed within them was never dependent on external validation. What was instilled in their bloodline could never be stolen because it was embedded in the very essence of their being. No system, no oppression, no injustice could take away what had been divinely ordained. Through every battle, they have remained. When the chains of bondage sought to break them, they found strength in their spirit. When the weight of oppression sought to crush them, they rose with a resilience that defied the odds. When they were told they had no place, they carved out space for themselves, refusing to be erased, refusing to be silenced. Their resilience is not just in survival, but in their ability to thrive despite the forces that have tried to keep them down. They have turned sorrow into song, pain into power, adversity into advancement. They have stood on battlefields, both physical and spiritual, and declared that they would not be defeated. The world may look at them and see struggle, but those with eyes to see understand that their struggle is a testament to their strength. For those who have endured the most are often the ones who carry the greatest purpose. Their trials have only refined them, making them stronger, sharper, wiser. The fires of oppression did not destroy them. They forged them into warriors, into leaders, into unshakable forces. Their very existence is proof of divine favor, because no people could go through what they have endured and still stand if they were not divinely upheld. Their richness is not just in what they have built, but in who they are. It is in their ability to love despite hatred, to create despite destruction, to hope despite despair. They have endured loss, yet they continue to birth new visions. They have been stripped of much, yet they continue to give. They have been torn down, yet they continue to rise. Their voices have been silenced in one era, only to roar louder in the next. Their resilience is not just in the past, it is in the present, and it will be in the future. Because a people who have walked through the valley and still stand on the mountain cannot be stopped. There have been times when they have questioned their own worth, times when they have looked at the struggles before them and wondered if they would ever see true freedom, true restoration, true justice. But the very fact that they are still here is proof that their story is not over. If they were meant to be destroyed, they would not still be standing. If they were meant to fade away, they would not continue to rise. The resilience in their blood will not allow them to be erased. They were created with too much purpose, too much power, too much destiny to be held back. The richness of their heritage runs deep. It is found in the wisdom of their elders, in the songs of their ancestors, in the stories that have been passed down through the generations. It is found in their laughter despite hardship, in their ability to dance even when the world tells them to sit still, in their faith even when everything around them tries to shake it. They have an unbreakable spirit, one that refuses to be tamed, refuses to be controlled, refuses to accept defeat. They are more than history, more than struggle. They are a force of nature, moving forward with power that cannot be contained. Every setback has only set them up for greater victories. Every obstacle has only built within them a greater determination. Every attempt to diminish them has only caused them to rise even stronger. This is the mark of a people who have been destined for greatness. This is the evidence of divine favor. Their endurance is not by accident. It is by design. Their ability to rebuild, to reclaim, to restore is not ordinary, it is extraordinary. The world has tried to write their story, but their story was already written, long before oppression ever tried to define them. Their richness cannot be measured by money, by land, by titles, because it is far greater than those things. It is a richness of soul, of spirit, of identity. Their resilience is not just a trait, it is a calling. They were not created to be weak. They were not placed on this earth to be defeated. They were formed to overcome, to lead, to rise, to shine. No matter what the world says, no matter what history has recorded, the truth is unshakable. They are a people of strength, a people of wisdom, a people of divine power. They are a people who have been through the storm and come out stronger, a people who have been pressed but not broken, challenged but not destroyed, a people whose story is still unfolding, whose best days are still ahead, whose destiny cannot be stopped. The richness of their existence is undeniable. The resilience within them is unstoppable. They were created to endure, created to rise, created to walk in the fullness of their identity. The world may try to deny it, but the truth will always prevail. They were made for more, destined for greatness, and called to stand unshaken, unmovable, unbreakable. Their richness and resilience are their legacy, their inheritance, their undeniable truth. Oppression is a force that seeks to break the will of a people, to crush their identity, to strip them of their dignity and make them believe they are less than what they were created to be. It comes in many forms: chains that bind the body, lies that enslave the mind, systems that suppress potential, and voices that tell a people they will never rise beyond the limits set before them. Oppression is designed to weaken, to silence, to control, to keep those who were meant to rule in a state of servitude. But history has shown that oppression, no matter how strong, no matter how deeply rooted, no matter how violently enforced, can never overcome a people who refuse to be broken. There is something within them, something greater than any chain, something more powerful than any system, something that will always rise even when it is pressed down. The truth cannot be buried forever. The light cannot be extinguished. A people who are called to greatness cannot be defeated by those who wish to keep them low. From the very beginning, there have been forces that have sought to oppress, to dominate, to erase, but every time, those who were meant to rise have found a way to push through. The weight of injustice has been placed upon their shoulders, yet they have carried it with strength. They have been denied opportunities, yet they have created their own paths. They have been silenced, yet their voices have become louder through the generations. The harder oppression tries to press them down, the stronger their resistance becomes. This is the mark of a people who cannot be broken, a people who carry something deep within them that cannot be subdued. Oppression works by trying to make people forget who they are. It seeks to remove them from their history, to make them believe they are powerless, to disconnect them from their divine identity. It whispers lies, telling them they are nothing, that they will never rise, that they are bound to the chains that have been placed upon them. But the greatest weapon against oppression is truth. The moment a people wake up to the truth of who they are, the moment they see beyond the lies, the chains begin to break. The systems of oppression are built on deception, but deception cannot stand in the presence of truth. Those who were once told they would never be free have risen to lead nations. Those who were once told they had no power have become voices that shake the world. Those who were once placed at the bottom have risen to the top, because what was placed within them is greater than the forces that try to hold them down. The path of overcoming oppression is not easy. It is a battle, a fight against the forces that do not want to see a people walk in their full power, but battle produces strength. Every struggle, every hardship, every moment of resistance builds something that cannot be taken away. It creates a people who know how to endure, who know how to press forward, who know how to fight for what is rightfully theirs. The fire of oppression does not consume them. It refines them. The pressure does not destroy them, it prepares them. What was meant for harm becomes the very thing that strengthens them, that shapes them, that turns them into warriors who will not bow, who will not surrender, who will not accept anything less than the greatness they were destined for. There have been generations before who fought against oppression, who laid the foundation for the freedom that was to come. They endured suffering, they stood in the face of injustice, they sacrificed so that the future generations would not have to live under the same chains. They fought not just for themselves, but for those who would come after them, for those who would carry the legacy forward. The sacrifices they made cannot be forgotten, because they are a part of the journey, a part of the process of breaking free. Their struggles were not in vain, their battles were not wasted, because every step they took brought their people closer to victory. And now, the call is to continue that journey, to press forward, to ensure that oppression does not have the final say. No more allowing the lies to take root, no more accepting limitations that were never meant to be there. It is time to rise, to walk in truth, to reject the chains, to refuse to bow to anything that tries to keep a people from their divine calling. The time of oppression is coming to an end, because the time of awakening has begun. Eyes are being opened, minds are being renewed, spirits are being strengthened. The chains that once seemed unbreakable are beginning to fall. The systems that once seemed immovable are starting to shake. The voices that were once silenced are now speaking with boldness, declaring that they will not be held down any longer. There will always be opposition. There will always be those who try to enforce oppression, because darkness fights hardest when it knows that its time is short. But oppression only wins if a people choose to remain in fear. It only succeeds if a people accept the lies. But when they stand, when they rise, when they refuse to be moved, then oppression has no power over them. Because the moment they realize who they truly are, nothing can stop them. No force in hell, no system of man, no history of bondage can hold back those who are determined to be free. The greatest act of defiance against oppression is not just to break free, but to thrive, to build, to grow, to succeed, despite every attempt to keep them from rising. It is to take back what was stolen, to reclaim what was lost, to step fully into everything they were meant to be. It is not enough just to survive oppression. They must overcome it completely, leaving no trace of it in their future, no longer passing down the mentality of slavery, no longer carrying the burdens of past generations, but walking forward with heads held high, with power in their steps, with the knowledge that they were always meant for more. The world may try to make it seem as if oppression is permanent, as if it is something that can never be fully overcome. But history has already proven otherwise. Again and again, those who were told they would never be free have broken through every barrier. Again and again, those who were supposed to remain in bondage have rewritten their story. Again and again, those who were counted out have risen to be the leaders, the visionaries, the ones who shape the future. Overcoming oppression is not just about breaking chains. It is about changing mindsets, about restoring identity, about ensuring that no future generation will ever have to suffer what the past generations have endured. It is about stepping into fullness, about refusing to settle, about never again allowing anyone to define them by their struggles. The past does not determine the future. The hardships do not define the destiny. Oppression is not the end of the story. It is only a chapter. And that chapter is coming to a close. A new season is here, a season of victory, a season of restoration, a season where oppression no longer has dominion. But this victory does not come to those who wait in fear. It comes to those who rise in boldness. It comes to those who refuse to bow. 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 The battle has been long, but the victory is already written. The struggle has been great, but the reward will be even greater. Those who have endured the most will rise the highest. Those who have suffered much will rejoice even more. Those who have been bound will walk in freedom. The time of oppression is ending, and the time of overcoming has begun. Nothing can stop it. Nothing can hold it back. The chains are breaking, the truth is rising, and the people who were once held down are stepping into their rightful place. The time of oppression is over. The time of victory is now. Greatness is not given. It is not stumbled upon, and it is not handed over to the weak in spirit. It is something that must be claimed, something that must be stepped into with boldness, something that requires strength, endurance, and the refusal to accept anything less than what was divinely designed. Greatness is not for those who wait in fear. It is not for those who hesitate, who shrink back when challenges arise, who doubt the power that has been placed within them. It belongs to those who are willing to stand, to rise, to push through every obstacle, to reject every lie that says they are not enough. Greatness belongs to those who refuse to live beneath their calling, who will not settle for an existence that is less than what they were created for. It belongs to those who know they were formed for more, who understand that they were never meant to be average, never meant to simply exist, but meant to thrive, to conquer, to rule. There is a time when waiting must end, a time when hesitation can no longer be excused, a time when looking back is no longer an option. That time is now. The season for greatness is here, and only those who are willing to step into it will taste its reward. No one stumbles into greatness by accident. It is a decision, a choice, a commitment to rise beyond the limits that have been placed upon them. It is the understanding that there is something more ahead, something greater waiting, and the only way to reach it is to move forward with unwavering determination. Those who remain in the past, those who continue to hold on to excuses, those who refuse to let go of fear, will never walk in the fullness of what they were destined for. But those who dare to believe, those who refuse to be held back, those who press on no matter what comes against them, these are the ones who will step into greatness. There have always been forces that try to keep people from walking in their true power. The voices that say they are not qualified, the systems that try to keep them bound, the doubts that whisper that they will never make it. But every great person, every mighty warrior, every leader who has ever walked this earth has had to face opposition. Greatness is not given freely because it is only meant for those who are willing to fight for it. The weak do not inherit greatness, the fearful do not take hold of it. The ones who make excuses, who wait for permission, who hesitate in the face of challenge, these are the ones who let greatness slip through their fingers. But those who refuse to be moved, those who choose to rise no matter what, those who take hold of their destiny with both hands and refuse to let go, these are the ones who will taste the fullness of what they were created for. The path to greatness is not easy, and that is why so many people never reach it. It requires sacrifice, it requires discipline, it requires stepping out of comfort and into the unknown, trusting that what lies ahead is greater than what is left behind. It requires breaking through every limit, every boundary, every wall that has been placed in the way. It demands perseverance when the road gets tough, when opposition rises, when everything inside wants to turn back. But the difference between those who reach greatness and those who do not is simple. Those who step into greatness do not quit. They do not bow to fear. They do not let challenges defeat them. They do not settle for less. They press forward, they push through, they rise again and again until they walk in the fullness of what has been set before them. There will always be a moment where a decision must be made, a moment where a person must look at their life and ask, will I stay where I am, or will I rise to what I was meant to be? That moment comes for everyone, but not everyone chooses to step forward. Some let fear hold them back. Some let doubt keep them chained. Some let the opinions of others stop them from walking in their destiny. But those who choose to step into greatness do not listen to the voices that say it cannot be done. They do not let fear be their master. They do not allow circumstances to dictate their future. They decide with everything in them that they will not live beneath their calling for one more day. And when that decision is made, nothing can stop them. Greatness is waiting. It has always been waiting. It does not belong to the hesitant, to the lazy, to the fearful. It belongs to those who take it, to those who refuse to let anything stand in their way, to those who know they were created for more and will not rest until they step fully into that calling. It belongs to those who understand that they are not ordinary, that their existence is not meaningless, that their life was designed for something powerful, something unstoppable, something that will shake the world. There will always be people who try to make others believe they are not enough. The world will always have voices that speak doubt, that try to convince people to settle, to remain small, to accept a life that is beneath their true identity. But those who are destined for greatness must learn to silence those voices. They must learn to reject every lie, to turn away from every distraction, to keep their eyes fixed on the purpose before them. Because the moment they listen to the world, the moment they believe the lie that they are not enough, they forfeit the greatness that was always theirs to take. Stepping into greatness is a battle. It requires taking down every stronghold that tries to keep people bound. It requires breaking through every barrier that tries to block the path forward. It demands an unshakable faith, an unrelenting spirit, a fire inside that refuses to go out. It is not for the weak. It is not for the passive. It is for those who refuse to be defeated. It is for those who refuse to be defeated. It is for those who understand that greatness is their inheritance, their destiny, their rightful place. It is easy to look at the obstacles and feel overwhelmed. It is easy to see the struggles and think that greatness is too far out of reach. But the truth is, every person who has ever stepped into their destiny has had to face those same struggles. The difference is, they did not let the struggles stop them. They did not let fear dictate their steps. They did not allow circumstances to tell them who they were. They stood up, they pressed forward, and they took hold of what was meant for them. There is no more time to wait, no more time to hesitate, no more time to live beneath what was always meant to be claimed. The time is now. The moment is now. The door to greatness is open, but only those who have the courage to walk through it will enter. It is not a door that stays open forever. It is not a path that waits for those who are not ready. The call is now, and the only question is, will it be answered? There is no secret to greatness. It is not something that belongs to a select few. It is not reserved for those with perfect circumstances or easy lives. It is for those who choose it. It is for those who are willing to fight for it, to sacrifice for it, to push past every obstacle and refuse to quit. It is for those who know that they were created for more and will not stop until they walk in the fullness of it. The choice is simple: stay where you are or step into greatness. Settle for less or claim what was always meant to be yours. Live beneath your calling or rise into the fullness of it. The time of waiting is over. The time of hesitation has passed. Now is the moment to step forward, to rise up, to take hold of destiny with both hands and refuse to let go. Those who choose to walk in their greatness will see doors open that no one can shut. They will see victory where others saw defeat. They will rise where others have fallen. Nothing can stop them because they have already made the decision that nothing will. Greatness is not just a possibility. It is a reality waiting to be embraced. It is not just a dream, it is a destiny waiting to be claimed. It is not just a hope, it is an inheritance waiting to be taken. The only thing left to do is step into it with boldness, with confidence, with the knowledge that it was always meant to be. There is no turning back, there is no more delay. Now is the time, now is the moment. Greatness is here. Step into it.